So I'm going to punch down the Sierra Bonita Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon. This is about 30% whole cluster. We use whole cluster to get a little sweetness and tannin and spice from the stems. It's a really good way to add a depth of mid-palate.
It's a sunny Sunday morning in Clarkdale, a couple of hours before the tasting room at Chateau Tumbleweed opens.
This is about 5 days into its fermenting process. The conversion is happening and you can really start to get hints of what the nose is going to be like.
Chris Potier and her husband Joe Béchard are busy punching grapes, steaming oak casks, and preparing to barrel the latest harvest. Chris and Joe, along with another couple, started this winery and tasting room in 2015, years after first moving to Arizona from Oregon.
I came here with Chris fresh out of college with my journalism degree and came to write for a local newspaper here in the Verde Valley.
That's when they say they sort of fell backwards into the winemaking business.
None of us intended to work in wine. None of us intended to be in Arizona.
And I had never heard of Arizona wine, didn't know anything about it, and was really curious.
A year later, Joe started working up the road at Page Springs Cellars, essentially putting a cork in his journalism career.
Once I started to get to see Arizona wine, I really fell in love with it, and I really believe in the wines here, and they're the kind of wines that I like to drink.
We all walked into the industry in a time where there weren't very many people involved, so we were given badges to do things that otherwise people would clamor for or go to school for, so we learned on the job.
After about 15 years of on-the-job training, Chris and Joe, along with their partners, decided to go their own way.
You know, it's kind of our own little project. We get to finally say what we wanted to say about Arizona wine and do it in a way that we wanted to do it.
Chateau Tumbleweed has gone from making 2,000 cases to 5,000 a year, and they now work with a dozen vineyards in 3 counties.
That's one thing that's kind of unique about Chateau Tumbleweed is we don't have our own vineyards, so we're sourcing a lot of fruit. And what we've decided to do is kind of make it educational and exciting and go and show people, you know, here's Sangiovese from 3 different vineyards across Arizona, or here's Cab Sauv from 3 different vineyards or 4 different vineyards.
Like most tasting rooms, they serve wine flights or by the glass. You can sit on the patio or enjoy the inviting living room setting.
I'd been into a lot of tasting rooms in my life that made me feel uncomfortable and want to hug a wall. And that was the only thing that really we intended, is to try to make a warm, engaging space where people came in and wanted to relax and drink some wine.
Chris says guests will find that their wines stand out, not just because of the distinctive labels that she draws, but because of their balance and because of Joe's creativity at developing depths of flavors.
If you're a person who likes to think and you want to get lost in wine, his wines are really good to get lost in.